What is going on, guys? I am Miguel from UCGym.com, bringing you another video today, and today we're going to discuss whether you should use free weights or machines. So for free weights, the pieces of equipment that fall into that category are going to be barbells, dumbbells, plates, and maybe cables. Cables is pretty much a little bit of both, but I'm going to put it more towards the free weight side. And then for machines, you're going to have pretty much everything else. Your leg press machine, your leg curl, leg extension, your chest press, your pec deck, seated row, that kind of thing. So we're going to discuss whether you should use free weights or machines. So I've been reading a book which pretty much is saying that if you want to be aesthetic and athletic, you have to activate every single muscle group possible, every little fiber, every inch of muscle that you have to activate it through using various angles. And free weights, you're able to hit every angle possible of your body. You can hit any single muscle group you want, but then for machines, there's sort of a limited amount of muscle group you're able to hit, because a machine is pretty much used to isolate a certain exercise. If the machine is more of a isolation exercise or a compound movement, you really only activate a certain amount of muscle fibers, whereas if you're using free weights, you're able to activate a whole bunch more muscle fiber. So with free weights, one main thing with free weights is that you have to use a lot of balance and stability to be able to complete the exercise and hold on to the weight without falling or dropping the weight or injuring yourself. So if you're going to do, let's say, a squat, with the squat you have to hold the barbell up on your back or your neck or wherever you're going to place it, and then you also have to be able to stabilize your body so that you don't fall forward, backwards, to the sides. You have to make sure that your knees don't cave in or they bow out too much. There's a lot of stability involved with doing a exercise like squats or pretty much any other free weight compound exercise like a deadlift or a bench press or a military press. But then for a machine movement that's compound, for like legs and a leg press, you don't really need much stability, since for the leg press you're going to be seated and the machine's going to do all the stability for you, and you're going to be in that fixated range of motion where you're only pressing the weight in one plane, whereas with the squats you're able to go in many different planes and you're hitting many other muscle fibers, since you are required to stabilize the weight and press the weight up with maximum effort. So with squats, compared to a leg press, you do activate a whole bunch more muscle fiber compared to using a machine. So pretty much in that argument, you're able to say that free weights are much better than machines. Same thing with the bench press. You're activating so much more muscle fiber to stabilize the weight and make sure it doesn't fall on you, compared to a machine chest press where everything is just in one plane and you have a fixated range of motion. With the bench press, you're able to bring the bar all the way up to your neck or all the way down to your stomach, depending on your mobility or any pre-existing injuries or anything like that, or if you want to hit a certain muscle group a certain way. Then with a machine, pretty much everything is in isolation for a certain plane. You can't really change up the way you're pressing the weight in between your set. But with the bench press, you're able to do one rep with the bar all the way up to your neck, another rep with the bar all the way down to your diaphragm. You're able to move depending on how you're feeling or which part of the chest you want to hit. Whereas with the chest press on a machine, you're not really able to get the same amount of benefits as you would through doing a free weight exercise. So with that argument, like I said, you're able to activate so much more muscle fiber compared to doing it with a machine. But the way in which the machine sort of dominates the free weights is the isolation factor. So with free weights, since you are activating so much more muscle fiber than with the isolation machines or just the regular machines, you are activating more muscle fiber than you probably want to. So if you want to just isolate your chest, you want to work the inner pecs through doing flies. Dumbbell flies are a good exercise, but you're not really able to get the same range of motion as you would be able to with a pec deck machine, where you're able to make your hands touch essentially. But with dumbbells, the limiting factor is the size of the dumbbells touching each other at the top of the movement. So in that case, machines are sort of better because you're able to get a larger range of motion, and you're also able to isolate a certain muscle group. So with dumbbells, you're doing chest flies, you probably get more activation of the shoulder than you want to, since you are trying to stabilize the weight. But with a pec deck machine, you really don't require much stabilization, so you're able to get a better pump for your chest since you are not recruiting any other muscle group or muscle fibers than you want to. So like I said, with working out, you really want to activate as much muscle fiber as possible. With free weights, you're able to do so much more exercises than you could with a single machine, and you're able to activate so much more fiber, stimulate more growth, and induce more hypertrophy and build more strength. And yeah, but another way in which isolation machines defeat free weights is that if you have a injury and you really can't stabilize any weight and you just want to work on a certain exercise and not worry about being able to stabilize it or injure yourself in any way. So machines are pretty much designed for safety and for people who aren't able to do free weights or don't like doing free weights. So if you want to work your shoulders and you want to do a military press or a overhead press or push press, you probably can't do it because you either have a rotator cuff injury or your GH joint isn't really, or your GH socket isn't necessarily feeling that great. If you want to work out your shoulders through doing some sort of compound movement, then of course you can do a shoulder press machine, whereas you don't have to stabilize as much, and you're able to get pretty much as close as a good workout as you could through doing free weights. So with free weights, you actually have more options for doing any exercise. So with a barbell, you can hit any single muscle group you want on your body. You can do calves, triceps, biceps, legs, abs. You can do anything you want with a barbell. Now with one machine, you can't do nearly as many exercises as you want. You can probably tweak it so you can do another exercise for another muscle group, but that's pretty much it. If you want to do a seated row, you can probably get on the other side of the machine and do presses with it for your chest. That's pretty much it. You can't really turn it into a let's say a leg workout or anything like that. So you have more options through doing free weight exercise with something like a barbell or a dumbbell or maybe even cables, but with machines you don't get that much of a freedom or the ability to do what you want to do. So in this argument, free weights versus machines, free weights win if you want to activate as much muscle fiber as possible. You want to build more muscle, you want to grow stronger, develop more stability. And then free weights or machines win if you just want to isolate a exercise, isolate a muscle, and if you want to rehab an injury or don't want to create an injury. So with the machines, the Smith machine falls into the category of not being necessarily a free weight exercise, since you are pressing in a limited range of motion or you're doing any exercise in that fixated plane. So if you're going to do a chest workout or a shoulder workout using a Smith machine, you aren't going to develop the natural balance or stability that your shoulders naturally will have if you were to do a free weight exercise. So a lot of people who have done Smith machine exercises, specifically pressing exercises, they develop or they lack an ability to stabilize any weight that they hold overhead or over their torso or anything like that. So in this way, compound exercises are better. I mean, free weight exercises, because with free weights, like I said, you develop a natural stability for doing certain exercises. So you can pretty much put this into a category with CrossFitters or powerlifters, where their main exercises are done with free weights. Powerlifters specifically use barbells for their 3 lifts, the squat, bench, and deadlift. And if you see a lot of these powerlifters shirtless or wearing tight clothing or just a standard shirt that's sweaty and it's sticking to their stomach, you can see they have abs. They're not necessarily shredded or cut up, but they do have developed abs, and this is due to their amount of stability they developed and the tightness of their core that they're able to get through doing free weight exercises. Same with CrossFitters. If they're doing pull-ups or any other sort of clean and press, clean and jerk, or deadlift, they're working immensely on their stability and their core tightness in order to ensure a proper completion of the exercise and ensure stability of the core and prevention of injury. So free weight exercises are really good, like I said, for developing natural strength, stability, activating as much muscle fiber as possible, and just getting a better workout all around. And then isolation exercises are better for just isolating or machine exercises are better for isolating a muscle group or rehabilitating an injury or just not having access to a free weight. So that's pretty much it. The answer pretty much answers, well, the video pretty much speaks for itself in that free weights are better than isolation exercises, but each one has its own place. So if you haven't seen my last video, I'll have an annotation on screen you can click to watch it. And if you haven't checked out UCGym.com, go ahead and create an account and add everyone there, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!